We're all gathered here tonight to celebrate Karen's birthday. Now, it was kind of a mystery to me, wondering how old Karen was, over the years. But when I got the invitation, I seen the year on there. I don't want to say it in case nobody else remembers it, but all those years, I'm trying to find out how old Karen is, and I never could until I got the invitation. But I'll tell you what, we should get her a job in the Pentagon. She could really keep a secret. And if you think she's good, try Ralph Gibson's. You'll never guess his age. It'll take an act of Congress. But I'll tell you, Karen is one of a kind. Karen became a nurse years ago. I should have wrote all this down, the exact date, but we all know. It was a while ago. And she wrote a book on her own. Hospital got pissed off about it and sued her, and she won the lawsuit. She became rich and famous and a very popular nurse then. Karen just never ceases to amaze me what she could get done or accomplish. Like, she got her own talk show, her own television show. If Karen set out to do something, she does it. She tells Ralph one day, they're down in Florida, she says, Ralph, Donald Trump's throwing a big party at Mar-a-Lago. She says, I'd like to go to it. Ralph said, how the hell are you going to go to that? And she's on the phone, she's talking here, there, this, that. Next thing you know, Ralph is going out getting a tuxedo, she's getting her gown, they're over Donald Trump's party, rubbing elbows with the rich and famous.
And you were there too.
Yeah, oh yeah, until they threw us out when we went there. But you were there right there, having cocktails with Donald Trump. Oh yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Never underestimate Karen. She could do anything. Now, years ago, Ralph and I were working together. It was a cold winter night, high crime area in Chicago. Jaws of death, radios crackling, murder, rape, robbery, everything going on. Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? Ralph says, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's go for coffee. That's a good idea, Ralph. So we go over to Del Campo. Now, I'm going back, like 35 years ago. Well, we go into Del Campo's, we're sitting there, that was the famous upscale pizza parlor on Cermak in Albany, Copper Hangout. So we're sitting there having our coffee and, bullshitting, and anyway, Ralph says, Gil, take a look behind you. Look at this beautiful, beautiful girl sitting behind you. I look, slowly I turn. Slowly, I don't want to be recognized. I look. Here's this beautiful young girl sitting there in a white nurse's uniform. And the light is shining through, the street light is shining through the window, the frost is all on there, and all the steam is on there. It created a halo around her. She looked, in that white uniform, she looked like an angel. I said, oh my God, Ralph, that is really something. She is very, very attractive. Ralph says, I'm going to go out with that girl. I'm going to meet her. I want to go out with her. Here it is, 30-something years later, they're married, happily married. Yep. So we're going to get moving. I could talk all night, but we got to get the show moving along. So I'm going to bring Gene up, and we're going to keep rolling.
Oh, it's going to be a mess. Hi. Each October, we're privileged to experience the beauty of nature's palette of brilliant fall color. Additionally, at that time, we're reminded of the vibrance and spunk of Karen, who is all of our special friend. Tonight, Soldiers Field was not available for us to bring all of the friends that you have. So, what we have today is the elite of the who's who. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We have the creme de la creme of the police department, the medical staff, and of the media. They're all here tonight to celebrate with you, Karen. And so at this time, I would like to keep in with one of your favorite songs. Let's see if we can play this behind you. Okay, let's see if this works. This is Karen. You got to know it, right? I love the nightlife. Okay, Karen, this is your life, and we're all here to attest to that fact. So, for you, everyone has a legacy. Some are more profound than others. Yours is going to be a tough one to beat. So, I would like to present this journal to you for you to record all of the things that have gone on in your life. Each person at your place setting tonight, you have a scroll that if you would like, please write something about it in there of your memories with Karen, and she can incorporate it into her memory section of her journal. So, there you go, Karen.
Thank you. I just want to tell you that Gene and Paul Barker developed this after they went through Hurricane Katrina and decided that everybody should have something where all of their emergency papers and legacy and memories are, and it's called A Notable Legacy, and I'm the first one to ever get one, and I think it's wonderful for all of you who have a legacy for your children and that. So Jean developed this over a period of time with her husband, Paul Barker, who was hiding in the corner. Thank you, Jean. Thank you very much. Can I sit up here?
Okay. Okay, now, haven't even read it yet. All right, bear with me, folks. This is the first time I'm reading this, so I hope I don't destroy your names. This is written by Karen. Beginning with high school, I met several girls. Great girls who are here now. Jackie Fasano, Bartolini.
Stand up.
Okay, yes, if you will stand when I read your name, I'd appreciate it. Jackie is the owner of the Bellissimo Boutique in Oak Lawn, and Karen says she has always and still is the epitome of fashion, flair, and charm. And and she's also a Scorpio, so Karen really gets into it. I'm an Aries, and she really has problems with that. And Sue Iorio Hofer, did I say that right? I hope, who is now a fellow nurse and was always welcoming and friendly to anyone. Where's Sue? There's Sue, okay. Sue was always friendly to anyone and everyone and continues to help people stay and get well, and who Karen would like to fight for her care if need be. I'm glad it's you going to fight that, not me. She is a joy to spend time with. Olga Antonopoulos, oh, I hope I did that right, Olga. Also born on Halloween, Karen's birthday, a member of the clubs we wanted to join. Peggy Muscalino Kniep, who is Peggy. Where's Peggy? Peggy's not here. Oh, hi, Peggy. Oh, wait a minute. What did she? Peggy was. Peggy was in Karen's girls' chorus, and she heard her sing, "If only I could live my life again off key as usual." So the teacher made me bring the record to prove there was a song like that. I know I've heard her sing. I don't know about the rest of you. She married the homeroom guy we all entertained by every day, as he leisurely was the class comic to all of us. Wayne, can he? Wayne? Yeah.
You're making me a lot more than I actually was. Just a lot of fun.
Well, Wayne also became a policeman. And Dave Strandberg.
Yay.
Where's Dave? Dave, who has all the medals. We got to see these handsome guys. You got to stand. Come on.
Dave, stand up.
Dave. Oh, yes, you've got to stand. Dave is one of the singles here tonight, so if we have any single ladies, here he is. And Karen went to grammar school with him and high school. Although many of the people at the recent reunion did not recognize him because he apparently left us often as possible, and he later became a police officer and a police diver. Oh, that my dad was too. Cool. All right. Now he and Wayne are retired and enjoying other endeavors. As I entered nursing school, I met one of the sweetest, soft-spoken girls. I want to meet her too because of the message I'm answering. You will ever meet, Margie Erickson Geringer, who can... Where's Margie?
She's back there.
Oh, there's Margie. Hi, Margie. Okay. She continues to nurse young children through their tests, and she was also Karen's roommate on a recent nursing school reunion cruise. We all wore our tiaras, gifts from me, to the formal dinners every night. Someone asked another acquaintance of ours at our table who we were, since everyone on the ship wanted to know. The woman answered, they are former Miss Americans. I said, no, we are the former Missed Americas. During that time, I also met a great teacher, nurse, and mentor in the ER, Shirley Costello. Shirley could not be with us this evening, but she did call. I took some very quick shorthand, and she did have a message, and I will get that and read it whenever I can. Okay? And Karen admires her greatly for her speed and efficiency in treating ER patients from the bucket of blood on payday on Friday nights. She could tell the interns what to do and how to do it. We also had an administrative part-time person working a second job in addition to her advertising job, and she is Rosemary Keller.
Yay, Rosemary.
All right, Rosemary, who met and married another police officer friend who was enjoyed by the student nurses, Jerry Keller. Yay. Jerry. All right, Jerry. Oh. Jerry rose through the ranks of the Chicago Police Department to commander, so I guess he's the big guns here tonight. Okay. And he once double dated with Karen and introduced him to one of his best friends. I also met Gene Karcheski. Where's Gene? All right, Gene. Who was the policeman who saved my life, oh, this ought to be a good story, when he arrived at a party that was getting wild, and off-aired to drive me home. He always talked about his high school sweetheart, Lydia, who is here today as his lovely wife. Lydia. His cousin, retired police Rich, and his wife are also joining us. Rich? And what's his wife's name?
Sandy.
Oh, Sandy. Sandy. Next, I met Gil Broderick, the living legend of the Chicago Police Department. Mr. Task Force, who later became my husband, Ralph. Oh, I thought he was going to become your husband. Wait a minute. Okay, become my husband's Ralph's TV show partner in the Street Savvy Safety Tips series they created. And of course, his lovely wife of a lifetime, Rosie.
Yay, Rosie.
Rosie.
That's it, Rosie, baby.
Jerry Keller, who climbed the ranks of the police department, started as a one-man car around the ER of Mount Sinai with me and introduced me to his best friend. Then he met Rosemary, an ER administrator. Where are these guys?
Right there. Again.
Oh, there they are. Okay. Mention them twice, they're worth mentioning, right? All right, where was I? Who took him out of circulation, obviously. All right, you got him. At Mount Sinai, I also met a supervisor, Mary Ann, who made me come to the work in the ER after my tooth was knocked out in a car accident. Where's Mary Ann? Oh, she's not here. Yeah. She taught me discipline and selflessness. When I went to Christ Hospital to run the psych unit, I met Joy Catterson. Where is Joy? I know Joy, who later became my business partner and friend. She is the best blood drawer in the world. Oh, what an epitaph. Jeez. And then I met Jocelyn. Where's Jocelyn? There's Jocelyn. Jocelyn was a student nurse engaged to a pharmacy student and told her to ask for a ring. Oh, and Karen told her to ask for a ring over a carrot, and she's wearing it today. According to Dr. Gary Drehos, who also became a dentist and a professor. Gary. All right.
He's a pharmacist, a professor, and a
Yes,
dentist.
a dentist, a pharmacist, and a professor. I really feel in good hands here tonight. Okay, let me see. All right.
Stand up, they can't see you.
It's-
Gary, stand up.
Oh. After leaving Christ and going into business, I met some great nurses. My director of nursing, Marianne Coquel, and is Marianne here?
She's over there.
Marianne, we can't see you. Oh, and her politically connected husband, Pete. Oh, where's Pete?
Right there, Pete. Where's Pete?
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
All right. Way to go, Pete. Okay, Pete. Alice Ferguson, LPN. Where do we have Alice? All right, Alice. Alice. Our #1 home care nurse, and now one of our TV camera people. Mira Benninger, RN?
Myra, she's next.
Myra. Oh, well, I'm glad I mispronounced her name with her out here. Okay. Who take care of even my relatives. And Vera Bayer. Is Vera here?
Yes, Vera's back.
Vera. Hey, Vera.
Vera handled all my money for years.
Oh, wow.
I did. I wish I did.
Vera took care of Karen's relatives and handled all the billing and payouts along with the accounts. Bob Signorella? Bob, did I get that right, Bob? Okay. Yeah. Small business accountant. Century Small Business, who is here with his wife and my friend Pam, a court reporter and acupuncturist. Hi, Pam. Oh, she's adorable. Oh, I hope this is over soon. I also met Penny Baker, an RN business competitor. Penny? Where's Penny? Penny!
Hey, Penny.
Hi, Penny. And we became friends, and I introduced her to my relative's friend, Chris, who later became her husband. Hi, Chris. And owns a landscaping company. Way to go, Chris. Then I met Linda Ratliff. Where do we have Linda? There we have Linda, who finally taught me about computers and websites. That had to be a challenge, boy. And is a lifesaver and a friend. Next, I met my former TV director, Doug Camille. Doug, where's Doug?
He's over there. Doug.
Over there. Hey, Doug. I remember you. And producer Ron Voivoda. Did I get that one right? Yay, there's Ron, who is taping here today along with Mike Kara and Debbie. Mike and Debbie. Where's Debbie? Hi, Debbie. Who also create TV shows. Because of the TV show, I have met and interviewed great people like the extraordinary Maria Panos of Panessa. Oh, yeah, this is the tough one for me. I never get Maria. I'm sorry.
Good job.
Panessa of. Now, what's the name of the place? Oh, yeah. Compania della Bellezza. Yeah, well, we'll let it go. Okay. In Old Town is the only one who could make me blonde and help my hair through those hot lights. She introduced me to Marie Jonas.
Her husband John is here too.
And John.
Okay.
John. Maria's husband, John. Okay. To Marie Jonas? Eunice. She introduced me to Marie Eunice of European Facial Institute. Hey, Maria. Okay. Of Hinsdale. And she to Margaret, who owns a jewelry company. Is Margaret here? No. Okay. On a trip to California, I met a great friend who flew here today to join us. She resembles Deborah Messing, but is prettier. She is kind and enduring and a good friend with a wild side. Okay. And that is Patty.
Stand up, Patty.
Patty flew across the whole United States, both ends, just to get here.
Wait a minute. Another great friend, Dr. Tony Kufis. Where's Tony?
Where's Dr. Kufas?
There he is. Hey, Tony. Tony's a naturopathic doctor and reflexology and iridology specialist who can fix anything that hurts you. Just ask Karon. An eloquent speaker and writer, Jeff Steele,
Is he here?
who authors... Is Jeff here?
I don't think he's here yet.
There he is. Hey, Jeff. Oops, we're dropping our stuff. Jeff is the author of articles in the Chicago Tribune, LA Times, and interviewed me twice and Gil and Ralph. Later, and had become a long-standing friend. All right. Ann Schwab.
Ann Schwab, where are you?
Okay. Ann Schwab is the publisher of DuPage Woman Magazine, which, by the way, was a beautiful article, and made my dream of becoming a cover girl come true. That was sweet. Just this month with her article on the TV show. Then, as Mrs. Will County, I lost the Mrs. Illinois title to Yolanda Goodfellow, and was proud to do so. Have a look at this. Yay! Yes. And she is the only person Karon wanted to lose to, and I think we can see why.
And her husband, David.
And David. Hi, David. Nice to meet you. A businessman with a beautiful wife. Okay.
Mr. Illinois.
Okay. More recent finds are neighbors Donna Sheridan, an interesting and good friend. Donna?
Donna, where are you?
Where's Donna Sheridan? Hey, Donna. Donna Sotelo.
She's not here yet.
Oh, she's not here yet either. Our entertainment director, Shirley and Grant.
Shirley, no, Donna Satel's our entertainment. Shirley and Grant are neighbors, right over there. And they just
Hi,
got
Shirley.
married. They just had a commitment ceremony.
And they just had a commitment ceremony. Congratulations, folks.
And not to the psych unit.
And not to the psych unit. Jeez, okay. Oh, let's see who are Sherry Grant. Community so great. Peggy, Paul, and John.
There we are.
There we are. Hey, Peggy, Paul. And John. Hi, John. Karon wants to recognize you. Get over here. Get that drink out of your hand. Get over here.
Well, Johnny, I told him the black tie is there, but he's for Sharon with the tie.
But you know, he's very stunning. He looks super. Yeah, at least he has a tie on. It looks great. And Rose Dent. Where's Rose?
Rose Dent. Rose.
Hi, Rose. I do not want to forget Ralph's former partners, Tom McGovern. Tom? Where's Tom? Hi, Tom. Jim O'Mara? Jim O'Mara? Where's Jim?
Where's he at the singles table?
Oh, all right. There's another catch for you, ladies.
At the bar.
Dave Strandberg.
The medals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Dave. Dave, we'd really like to see your medals. Would you like to come up here?
Come on, Dave.
Dave, you don't want to. That's okay. I'll have all the girls walk around and take a... All right, come on. Yeah. You're a sport.
Tell O'Mara to come with him. Tell O'Mara to come with him.
O'Mara,
I only
come on up here, too.
Karon and I got set up.
Ralph, did you set him up?
You said
O'Mara. Where's O'Mara? Come here. He set him up.
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
James O'Mara, not Joe.
Did I say Joe?
You said.
Jim.
I think you said Joe.
Did I? Jim
Jim.
O'Mara.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. I haven't had any, but I mean, This is the first time I read
He
this.
set you up.
You weren't blind the last time I saw
I
you.
know.
I can't put holes in this. I gotta bring it back. I would have done all that stuff.
Aren't these guys stunning? I love it.
Studying?
Stunning. Stunning. Thank you, guys. And they're both single, so.
Oh, it's Dr. Koopas.
And Dr. Kufis, okay. And what do we have here? Last but not least, my friend Jean Barker. Oh, thank you. Here I am. And her husband Paul, who
Barker, where are
he won't stand up, who have come every time I needed them. Originally from Chicago, Jean lived in Las Vegas, and Paul has traveled the world as an electrician, and they now live in Biloxi and survived Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, we just hooked up our FEMA trailer and made our way here while we operate a condominium complex for the military and later for the rebuilders of the area. They really recently began their, I can't really read this. This is stupid. You already said this, really. Okay. They recently began their own business, the Notable Legacy Journal, A Journey Through Time, a quick and easy way to keep your thoughts and memories for those children and others who want to know all about your legacy in the future, and something for you to grab in an emergency like we did for Katrina. And it's an informational. She and Ralph and Paul are responsible for this party, and I thank them as well as all of you for joining me on this happy birthday. Sorry.
Jean, you did a good job. She was very nervous about it, but give her a big hand. She did a good job. And you know, when I was talking about the book, I didn't realize Karen got a copy up here. Would have held it up on our own. Well, her and Joy wrote the book, and working together as nurses, they did a lot. Also, she mentioned street savvy cops. Ralph and I, tell a lot of stories, and she said, well, let me be your agent. Let me start pushing you guys as street savvy cops and teach people how not to be the victim of a crime, how to be a tough target. And that's what we did, and that's how Ralph and I became rich and famous. So there's no end to what Karen can do. It's it. It's
Start with other people now talking.
Who?
Yeah.
Some of them want to talk. Rosemary and everyone.
If anybody wants to come up and say a few words for Karen, Rosemary, she said would like to come up here.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Pull it down. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Well, good evening, everyone. And again, happy birthday to Karen. As I've been introduced, my name's Rosemary Keller, and I became acquainted with Karen in 1966, 40 years ago, at Mount Sinai Hospital in Chicago. I was the weekend emergency room admission clerk, and Karen was a student nurse. And she was really a stunning picture in that crisp white uniform and that perky little cap on that beautiful dark raven hair that she had. She was really beautiful. Now, Mount Sinai was and continues today to be a large teaching hospital located at Ogden and California Avenues in Chicago. This is an area which was then, and even now, a densely populated part of Chicago, full of old, broken-down housing stock, an area with lots of people, lots of health problems, and lots of crime. So Mount Sinai Hospital is ideally situated to be a teaching hospital. Where better for the young doctors and nurses to thoroughly see and learn just about everything for their trade. When I met Karen, she and the other student nurses, as well as the interns, rotated for specific periods of time throughout the hospital, through areas such as surgery, pediatrics, emergency room, etc. I remember the first time I met Karen, it was a cold, wet Saturday morning. I only worked on the weekends. When I came in on duty in the emergency room at 8 a.m., the place was already swinging. I remember this day so well because it was really a mess. A fire ambulance had brought in some injuries from an auto accident, so they were in one part of the emergency room. A police squad car had brought in a poor soul who was assaulted and robbed while waiting for a bus to go to work. And the main trauma area of the emergency room was streaming with doctors, the nursing supervisor, and Karon. She was the student nurse on duty that month. They were all treating a guy who had been, this is really something, I really remember this. This poor soul had been impaled with some sort of a metal rod during an industrial accident the night before. So when I peeked into the trauma room, when I arrived down there in the emergency room, it was a scene from Ripley's Believe It or Not. Everyone was attending to this horrible injury, and in the middle of it all was Karon. I remember this. I didn't know who she was, but I noticed how calm and efficient she was organizing everything. The medications, the IV fluids. She was confidently assisting the doctors, and then rushing the patient on his cart up to the operating room for surgery. And we later learned that he fully recovered. I'll always remember that day. I don't remember too many things clearly from 40 years ago, but that morning is really clear to me. When things calmed down, Karon and I properly introduced ourselves to each other. Then the weeks and the months passed. I would work with Karon again. I was happy when she was on duty, especially when we had a foreign doctor assigned who had limited English skills. Karon had a knack for getting the best out of everyone for the good of the patient. Well, I left Mount Sinai Hospital in 1968. Karon graduated with her nursing degree, and we went our separate ways. The years passed. Our husbands were in the same line of work, so we would run into each other at Christmas parties, promotion events, and fundraisers. We even had some mutual friends, so it was not at all surprising for me to learn of all of Karon's accomplishments. She was a real Florence Nightingale nurse, like the one I saw those years ago in the emergency room. She was an author of books, a successful businesswoman, a television personality, and that's just to mention a few things. Plus, she's fun, interesting to be with, and a genuine, I repeat the word genuine, friend. So happy birthday, Karon. Here's to more years of happiness and success in areas you may still want to conquer. Just remember one thing, 60 today is like 40 yesterday. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Made of Karen's, and she asked me to read this for her. So, people don't change, they just get older. My father always told me that. He said, we do what we are. I know the exact point in time when Karon would become the accomplished, beautiful lady you see here tonight. Not too long ago, a group of the recent 60-year-olds, Karon's a newly elected member, the baby boomers, as we are so often referred to, we're sharing evening together and regaling each other with stories of our youth, life successes, and challenges. As I gazed around the table, remembering youthful behavior, dances, football games, etc., I realized that each of us had changed a little. A few more pounds, perhaps, a wrinkle or two, glasses replaced contacts, and hair dye to cover the gray had replaced the ponytails. We were still very much the kids of the 60s. The class cut-up could now spin the most humorous of stories. The swim team captain was now a high school athletic coach. She's got couch. The perky girl from history class had championed numerous charitable causes. The math whiz had become a successful businessman. Our school version of the Fonz, who was so smart that he could drop out of school, had a real job, drove a motorcycle, and dispensed great advice, was not at the table. He went to prison for grand theft auto. But that's another story for another time. None of us had really changed, certainly not the Fonz, from the first time we met, except, of course, for Karon. I paused when I looked over at Karon that night and thought back to the first time I met her, I realized the strong, accomplished, secure woman across from me was very different today than on that October afternoon in 1960. Ours was a newly constructed high school. Our freshman class would be the first. The school, much like us, had no identity of its own. A student from each homeroom had been chosen to attend a meeting. That group of students would later become the student council. The purpose of the meeting was to exchange ideas and hopefully choose the school colors, school mascot, and the name for our athletic team. Our identity. I remember arriving a little early, and I didn't want to sit in the back where the shy, the insecure, and usually really smart kids sat. I placed myself smack in the middle as the room filled with laughter grew. The din of the in crowd gathered in front of the room made one acutely aware of being alone. In front were the kids you just knew were going to be very popular and very successful. Girls with long straight hair and perfect teeth. Boys with great bravado and great physiques. They all seemed to be sharing the secret of knowing who they were and where they were going. Traversing between those who would become the prom queen and quarterback, a shy-appearing little brunette, head slightly lowered, not making eye contact with anyone, made her way through the room. The only remaining open seat was next to yours truly, there in the middle of the room. The middle of choices between those who would be heard and those too afraid to speak, said Karon and me. We talked for a few minutes, exchanged ideas on the choices to be made at the meeting. Her favorite colors were orange and black. My favorite animal was a tiger. Ours was a meeting of the minds, the perfect choice. But there was the fact that we were the middle row kids. Middle row kids haven't yet chosen a path. Most would take the safe road in life, and they'd stay in the middle. Teacher in place, a lively discussion took place. School colors were first up. The most gregarious kids shared their choices. The front of the room seemed to control the meeting and probably our identity. They were united. Somewhere between the cheers and the gears, the sweet, shy girl next to me raised her hand. Soft-spoken at first, hesitant in the beginning, she gave her reasons for choosing orange and black, or perhaps orange and white. You see, she said her friend Mary thought the Bengal tiger would be a great mascot, and the colors were strong, like the tiger, like all of us. Her delivery grew in volume and conviction. Periodically, she looked at me with a twinkle in her eye. The choice of the Mustang, bear, or eagle, color combinations of brown and gold, blue and green, were muffled with her. Excuse me a second. Were muffled with her persuasive delivery. The chatter faded. They were all listening to the shy girl in the plain dress with the purple turquoise-colored jewelry. The vote was taken, and yes, the school colors were orange and white.
All right.
The mascot a tiger, and a team of the name the Bengals. I knew then that the sweet, shy little girl that sat next to me in the middle of the room was going to be someone special. She wasn't going to take the easy middle position. She would take the untraveled road. She's met me challenges head on. I look at Karon now and see a strong, successful, kind, and formidable woman. She is a quintessential metamorphosis of the moth to the butterfly. You've come a long way, baby. Thanks for taking so many of us with you on the journey. Happy birthday, Karon. Your friend, Mary. I first met Karon, I was a young patrol officer in Task Force Area 4. Before that, I met her husband, Ralph. Now, Ralph was a debonair kind of guy. He just left the detective division, came down to Maxwell Street, where me, my cousin, and his future partner, Gil, worked. And I remember sitting on the steps. We worked 6 at night to 2 in the morning. And I remember talking to Ralph, and I was so impressed with him. I think we talked for about 2 hours after we got off, and he was telling me about all the things that he'd done. And a young, impressionable policeman, I certainly listened. And I learned a lot. And, I rose to the rank of sergeant, lieutenant in Chicago, but looking at Ralph and guys like him, they certainly should have been it before me. because they had the knowledge and the heart and the courage, kind of things that I took from them and I learned from them. But needless to say, before Ralph met Karon, I met Karon. And me and my partner was a little bit of a lunatic who I later got rid of before I went to prison. But that's not funny, that's true. We went to, I think we were going to Al's at the time. That's the first place we met Karon. And she was with a group of girls, and one night we went to Sam's afterwards, which was like a local watering hole at 18th and Canal, which is not too good a location. And Karon, you know, 'cause she was kind of a sarcastic girl, you know.
She still is.
I mean, at that time, you know, I mean, she'd give you the business whether you need it or not. And, you know, my partner and me, we were having a few, and, you know, saying this, you know, we had just met this girl, and she's, you know, giving us a mile of 10 bad roads. So we said, we're going to fix her. So after the evening was over, we said, Karon, you know what? Why don't you come around to the alley here? We want to show you something. So she got to the alley. I put my finger in her back, and my buddy, my partner, dropped the M80 next to her. She thought she was shot. She was screaming. It was about 3 of us. So we're saying, shut up, Karon, shut up. We're going to all go to jail. Well, we taught her a lesson after that. She's been very nice to me. But all kidding aside, you know, what I did know about Karon is she was a nice person, and I mean a good heart. She was no floozy, you know. She was a good girl. I mean, that's a big deal for coppers.
I have a girlfriend.
Maybe. I never met him. Don't want him. I got my wife there.
I know.
No, but all kidding aside, she was a.
Like the lawyers next to
Bottom line is, you know, you could tell from meeting Karon, she was a classy girl. She was not somebody to be trifled with. She had her ideas of where she wanted to go. She was very compassionate towards others. I could sense that in her. She had that compassion for others. To me, that's a big deal, and I always respected her for that. And she got the right guy. She married Ralph Gibson, who been the love of her life, and I'm sure the love of his life. And they've made a great couple, and I want to wish you the best 60th birthday that you've ever had. 60th birthday. I met her 40 years ago. 40 years.
How young he looks, and now he's the chief of police of Riverside. Can you believe it? Thank you.
That's it.
Jeff Steele.
You forgot to tell her, Gene, we used to call her the Ice Queen. Jeff Steele want to come up here and say a few words? Jeff?
All these handsome guys here.
Yes, yes.
Well, while all of you have known Karon for 30 or 40 years, I've only been a friend of Karon's for the last 15 years. It all started in 1991 when I was in my first year freelancing for the Chicago Tribune, and I would be frequently given assignments to go out and profile somebody who was doing a great job. Might have been an award-winning realtor or a fantastic volunteer, maybe a guy who started his own chain of comic book shops. And one day I was given an assignment to go out and meet this woman named Karon Gibson, who was famous for starting her own company and writing a book and having a TV show and so on. And so I went out and I interviewed Karon and thanked her for the interview, and I thought that would be the end of it, just as it is with most of the people that I meet in the course of writing articles. I may talk to them again after interviewing them, call them for questions, and then when the editors get a hold of the story, they'll have to ask a few questions, and I get back to the source again and talk to them a little bit more, and then that's the end of it. So it kind of amazed me when, after I did the article on Karon, that was just the start of several articles, I think, that I wrote about Karon and then eventually about Ralph and Gil, all for the Chicago Tribune's Tempo Southwest section. And all during the intervening 15 years, Karon has always been somebody who, when I lapsed in keeping the relationship, the friendship alive, would give me a call or send me a birthday card or a Christmas card. She almost always remembers my birthday. And so 15 years later, we're still in touch, whereas all those other people that I interviewed and did articles on years ago are long forgotten. I don't even remember their names. And here I am at Karon Gibson's 60th birthday party. So anyway, I just wanted to say that if Karon has kept in... Well, let me backtrack 1 second and say that of all the people I've known, there's few people I've ever known who would be better equipped to keep the title or have the title of a people person. That's Karon Gibson right down the line. And if she's stayed in touch with me, a North Sider, for all these years, I can only imagine how great she's been to you folks. So happy birthday, Karon. They threw away the mold when they made you.
You're supposed to move over there. And he's single, too. Why do you think I keep in touch with him? He belongs over there. Jeff, I want you to go to the singles table. Jackie Bartolini, could you come up here, Fasano Bartolini, for a minute? I'm helping you out, Gil. Yeah, I know. Before you go back to the table with the singles group, I want you to...
You know, when I was asked to say a few words tonight, I thought, what could I possibly say that all of you don't already know about Karon? She's incredibly talented, she is extremely knowledgeable, and we all know she has a wonderful wit. And who else has that uncanny ability to make us do things that we normally wouldn't do? Hello. I mean, I should be sitting at this table, right? When I was putting my thoughts together, I kept thinking, what's one word that would describe Karon? Diva. I thought unique. And when I looked up the definition, it said unparalleled, one of a kind. And Karon, that definition definitely fits you. And I think I can speak on behalf of all of us tonight and say that we're so pleased to call you our friend. And happy, happy birthday. Oh, and just one other thing. There's one other good thing about your birthday.
What?
Your birthday. You'll always be older than me.
She owns Bellissimo in Oak Lawn. She has beautiful clothes there and a fashion flair. Jerry Keller, we want to hear what you have to say. Oh, God, Ralph said. Oh, God. She heard that. What did you say?
I didn't say anything. So you want to hear what I have to say? Is that what you said? I don't think you do. My name is Jerry Keller. I'm a retired Chicago police officer.
Commander.
I was a commander for a while. I met Karon White in 1965 at Mount Sinai Hospital. She was 19 years old, so just do the math, and I guess it's out you're 60, right? Which is a milestone birthday, Karon. You know, there are many milestone birthdays. Your 21st, when you can drink. Your 30th, when you don't trust people under 30. 40, 50, half a century. 60's a big one. Then you would think, Karon, that 70 would be the next one. No, once you hit 60, they're all big ones. So 61's a big one, 62, you know, they're all milestones. But anyways, 1965, I came on the Chicago Police Department. I was 21 years old at the time. And where do you meet your spouse? Just think about your own situation. You meet in high school, college, work. Most people meet their spouses at work. Well, I was 21 years old, single. I had just gotten out of the Army, assigned to the 10th District, Marquette District, and the Mount Sinai Hospital was part of the district. So you're not going to meet your spouse at work in the police department. At that time, there were no female officers. Well, there was youth officers, and there were matrons, female matrons, but these were beastly people. So, where was your office then as a police officer? Well, donut shop, you know, other than the police station. Well, where we really spent a lot of time was in emergency rooms and hospitals. In the 10th District, there was Mount Sinai and St. Anthony's. And there was some pretty good lookers over there too, Karen. We didn't spend all our time on Mount Sinai. No. But anyway, so you're always in these hospital emergency rooms because people are getting shot, stabbed, accidents, traffic accidents, falling out of windows, getting thrown out of windows. Well, they wind up in the emergency room to either get treated or get pronounced and taken to the morgue. So that's where I first met Karen. She was one of the student nurses there. And that's where I also met my wife, Rosemary. She was a admitting clerk on the weekends. She had a full-time job working at Sears as a secretary, but on the weekends she worked this extra job to pay for that new Mustang she had bought in 1965. So she was there a couple days a week. And, but actually before I met Rosemary, I met Karen and a friend of hers, Judy. She was from Wisconsin, I believe. And I had a friend named Jim Fennessy who was a police officer, and turned out I dated Judy and Jim was dating Karen. And we went out a few times on double dates, movies, we say dinner, but back then it was just, you know, like coffee shops, things like that, nothing fancy. But then the planetarium was still open back then, or it's still open now, but they used to have something down there you call the submarine races. But I'm telling you, that's all that happened. Yeah. It was a different time. There's nothing, you got married, you know, and there's nothing, you know.
He's joined the Army.
Yeah, right, so, even though Jim was a police officer, he was single, and this was during the Vietnam era, and being single and all that, being a policeman was not an exemption. He got drafted, and he went away to the Army, and I don't know if they ever corresponded or not. I know Jim did like her, but he's gone, you know. So Ralph stepped right in. But in any event, that's how I met Karen. And I was in the 10th District for a couple of years, and then I left, and being a police officer, you move around every couple of years. And you see me here and there, and you just lose contact with people. And it was, 10 or 12 years later, I went to another assignment, and Ralph Gibson was one of the officers that I worked with, and it was the first time I had ever really met Ralph. And he asked me, he says, my wife says, are you the Jerry Keller that used to work in the 10th District? Yes, I am, you know. So we have Christmas parties and such, the unit that Ralph and I worked in, special operations, and my wife Rosemary and I, Karen was there, and we're all happy to see each other. And so for a period of 2 years there, when I was in that assignment, we would see each other. Then I left there, and there was almost a 25-year period after that that I never really saw Ralph or Karen. But I did follow her. It was very easy to follow. She's always on TV, articles, very successful businesswoman. But this came out of who she was from the person that I met. Very serious about what she was doing. And now we find out, through mutual friends, Gene Karcheski and his wife Lydia, they knew that we lived in a place called Caroline Lakes, which is down the street. And Karen and Ralph lived at the original Caroline.
Caroline. That is a French light tower, by the way.
Very good. Is that Debbie? Peggy Paul. You got to meet this woman. But anyway, so we got together just a few months ago, and 25 years had passed since Rosemary and I had seen Karen and Ralph, even though we'd seen them on TV and such. And what's remarkable, people do not change. They really don't. Their core stays the same. She's the same person that I met all them years ago. The voice inflections, the attitude about life, nothing really changes. Now, what happened in the meantime, she was obviously just a student nurse, but became a very successful businesswoman. And the success only came, believe me, because she was really dedicated to what she did, or what she was doing. Now, if she became successful and made money at it, that's a bonus. But if the core wasn't there, this would have never happened. So, in closing, Karen, Ralph, we're so happy, Rosemary and I, that we could spend this evening with you, this joyous occasion, this 60th birthday, this important birthday, but like we said, they're all going to be very important after this. Thank you.
Patty says she has to wait till the end of my life.
What are you gonna do?
Okay.
Marjorie Geringer. Yeah, Margie. Margie Geringer. She wanted to say something. You got to move fast.
You can get the bean. You're going to get the bean.
Okay. I think this is working, is it not? Oh, wrong one. Sorry, wrong one. This one. Talk loud.
Very soft-spoken, but this will work.
Loud in here.
Okay. I met Karen in nurses training at Mount Sinai Hospital, and I lived at the other side of the hall in the nursing dorm, and I was at Erickson, and she was a white, and we were separated in terms of our into groups. But Karen was on the very active side of the hall, you know what I mean? And I don't know how she got through nurses training with such good grades, because she never slept, and she was always socializing and always busy and involved in everybody's project and lives and always on the go. While we were in the library and in our room studying all the time. So she's just amazing. And she's been a good friend all these years. We've had a lot of fun on cruises and on special occasions that she's arranged for our school, for our class, for alumni getaways for a weekend, and she's a great roommate on those occasions. I really appreciate being part of her life.
Thank you, Margie. Thank you. You don't know about my wild ones up here now. Okay, now we'll hear from the wild ones. But there's one over there. They all want to know how I have all these wild girlfriends. Patty flew. Oh, you're the last one? Okay, Maria, quick.
Well, Karen, first of all, I want to thank you very much for making me part of this beautiful celebration of your life.
You're welcome.
I'm very honored. My husband and I really are very honored to be here. I think I met Karen, about 5 years ago? On the phone. She called me, I think from Lake Geneva, and said, I just met someone whose hair I really like, and she said she comes all the way to Old Town. I want you to know that no one's ever pleased me with my hair. Then she introduced herself and said that she was a television show hostess, and would I be interested in trying to...
Fixing my hair.
Yeah, fix her hair. So I thought, oh, sure, why not? You know, after she hung up, I thought, oh, yeah, sure, she's really who she says she is. I mean, I get a lot of calls like that. But when she came in, and, you know, I was really impressed with her whole story. But here's Karen, very, very strong personality, trying to take control of how I was going to be doing her hair. Especially after she told me that no one could please her. So she said, you know, I don't really like to have my hair cut. I like my hair color, especially because my husband loves my hair color, and it was black at the time. So I'm like, well, I'm really restricted here. What do I do? So I got to know her. She's an incredible, incredible person, woman. Interesting, very compassionate, as the other people have said. I was really impressed with her. And she got to know me too, and started to trust me a little bit, a little at a time. And here she is now, a blonde. I usually have to ask Karen, have you combed your hair today? Before you get to the show? She's like, yeah, I did the front. Nobody can see the back anyway. So I said, be careful, because they're going to ask you where you get your hair done. And it's me. So Karen, thank you so much. You were a wonderful, wonderful friend, a strong person, someone that I admire so much. And you inspire me every day that I... Thank you. Thank you. And happy birthday.
And they said brunettes are cool, but blondes are hot. So that's Maria, right? Joy, did you want to say something? I'm looking for you to come up here. Joy? Joy Catterson?
Karen knows how much I like public speaking, which is not at all. But she refers to all of her friends as the wild ones. I was always the hippie. I don't know what that was all about.
If you weren't married to a policeman, you would have been a hippie.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. But as you all know, probably know both Karen and I, that we go back a long, 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 long way. And we've been very good friends. Although Karen, sometimes I think everybody knew, I'm the one that knows all the real stories behind all the things that we've done. But people think we've been through the good times and the bad times. I like to refer to them as the good times and the best times. So Karen, have a happy birthday and many, many more.
Thank you. You should stay up here. You should stay up here. Whisper. Okay, Dr. Gary Drehos, I want to hear from you. Gary was a student pharmacist when he was engaged to Jocelyn, or tried to get engaged to Jocelyn, who worked with Joy and I said, do not marry this man unless he gets you a diamond over a carrot. And then he became a pharmacist, a dentist, and a professor, and she's got that ring on today. Here, come on. Okay.
Well, I don't have anything prepared to say tonight, but I did like some of the math that I heard over here before about 60 equals 40, and that was must be some kind of dog year type thing. Well, like she says, like Karen says, I knew her back when she worked with my wife, and they worked at, appropriately enough, the psychiatric wing of the Christ Hospital, Joy, and Karen was the supervisor, so that must mean she was the head nut.
She still is.
You already know the story about how I get sucked into buying this ring, which I had no intentions of buying that big. But one of my favorite stories is, and I'll never forget to this day, we were invited to a lot of parties Karen would organize, and I swear some of them the people didn't even know we were coming over there. I remember going to a doctor's house one time, and he had no idea we were going. Dr. Gar. But anyway, the best one was we were invited to a New Year's Eve party, and Ralph had an apartment on 63rd and Pulaski. And I, naive as I am, never had seen a gun before in my life, maybe on Bonanza or a horse cart ride. 5 minutes to 12, out comes a whole bunch of guns, because there's a lot of police officers there. And at midnight, the windows go up, and they start taking target practice at the big Indian at the cigar store across the street. So I never saw you. And the neighbors, of course, they call the police, and what good did that do? They came over, and they were enjoying the evening with us, too. So that's I'll never go through a New Year's Eve without thinking of that one there. There's a lot of great times, and I wish you only the best in the future, and happy birthday.
Oh, God. And he fixed our teeth the best of anybody in the world. Bob Signorella, do you want to tell him something? Bob was my accountant. He's the one who's responsible for me retiring. He said, Karen, you'll never have to work another day in your life. I said, okay, I quit.
As Karen said, I'm her accountant, CPA, and I met Karen probably, was it 1990, 91, something like that?
87, I think.
Was it 87? Time goes fast. But anyways, I remember meeting Karen because we went on I think we telemarketed your firm at the time. She was in business, doing home nursing, and I remember coming back from that appointment to my office and saying, we got a new client, that's the good news. The bad news is this woman is really something. And she is going to be something to really service. But I can tell you this, from what I saw today, she really knows how to service her customers. I think when I walked into her office and I met her, she was on the phone with an insurance company, and she was like really at their throats. And she was at their throats because they were not providing the coverage that she was trying to get for her patients. And I was so impressed. I just sat there and listened to her, and she was like, well, let me talk to the president. I don't care who I got to talk to, but my patient needs this coverage. And she just kept on and just was so persistent at it. And I just sat there and looked at her, and I went, wow, this is unbelievable. This woman is something. But, you know, as we went through the years in servicing her business, there were many times when insurance would be shut off, which is really her revenue stream. And me, as her business advisor, would say, Karen, you're not a not-for-profit organization, you're a business. You need to get your revenues. You need to discontinue your services for this patient. And she would say, no way, Bob. No way am I going to do this. I'm not going to let my patient not have the services she needs. And that always stuck with me in saying that it doesn't matter about the money, it's about servicing. And thank you for giving me that advice, really. So I learned a lot from her for doing that. And the other thing that I remember about Karen is she asked me to be on one of her television shows. And it was about computers and personal applications and business. And I'm not real computer efficient. I mean, I know how to turn it on, I know how to click, I know how to do that. And I remember she had me on with district manager from CompUSA. So I felt somewhat comfortable. I said, well, here's someone that's knowledgeable. I could kind of play it off a little bit. And so we were in the waiting room waiting to go on. And he was a very nice gentleman, very talkative, and we're laughing, and I was asking him questions, and he was asking me about what I do, and I service small business owners, and I've been doing it for, actually, it's my 25th anniversary this week, doing that. And I said, well, I'm going to be in good hands, because if I get stuck on something, if Karen asks me something, I know I can just, he'll team up with me. Well, as soon as Ralph said, camera on, this talkative individual became Mr. Silent. I mean, he froze. I mean, the lights came on, his eyes got big like this, and that was it. It was just all me. And I remember Karen asking me right before the commercial break, well, Bob, you know, what is it about the computers? I said, well, Karen, it's about a gigabyte. And she says, oh, she says, you know what, you'd have to explain what a gigabyte is to me, but we have to break for commercial. And that was the longest commercial of my life because I had no idea what a gigabyte was. I just knew what the term was. And this individual was just frozen. He wouldn't say anything on it, but that was, I'll never forget that, Karen. I still got the tape. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And Vera Bayer back there used to count the money, and then Bob. Okay. Well, hurry up.
Single side of you.
The single side of me.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is something that you probably don't know that, we have the most single married couple here in this room with Ralph and Karen, you know. I met her at a computer club, but I've never been the same since. She's my third friend in Caroline and quite a loyal friend, always there for you, compassionate, will have all the answers, it seems, you know, and it doesn't get spread anywhere. It's really great. But what you don't know, or maybe some of you do, is that she has a passion to crash single clubs. And she does it with such style because she can interview the best. And, you know, and God bless you, Ralph. I mean, he is the most understanding married single I know. But we have had so much fun. And the most notorious one was, remember, Donna, in the parking lot of the St. Charles Dance Club? Donna Sotelo and I were out that night. And, you know, Karen wanted to see what it's all about, you know. And this is a great club because none of the men stand there against the bar, you know, just watching and holding a drink. So, you know, Karen gets, wherever we go with Karen, seems to be an event. And whether she's married or single with us, I like the way she has promoted singledom. It seems as though she doesn't leave out her single friends either. And how come Karen, Miss Karen, are Donna and I not seated at the all singles table tonight? But anyway, and also she's introduced me to Steinmart, which now my clothing budget has quadrupled at least, you know, but that's great. But I just wanted to say happy birthday, Karen, and she shares her friends with everybody. I looked in this room today, and over the last 5.5 years or so that I've known Karen, I said, I know half of the people in this room. And that is quite an attribute that you have. She seems to bring people together, and she just has the style and class about her. And long live the Queen of Halloween. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Can you get through here? I believe the nerve I have sitting up here with these women.
Okay, I'm Yolanda Goodfellow, and I was Mrs. Illinois in 1997, so I am a little rusty, and Bob, I feel like a deer in headlights right now. I met Karen almost 10 years ago when she competed with me in the pageant, and unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that she was there as an undercover, kind of wanting to know what it was like to be in a pageant behind the scenes. So I think I might have passed the test, but I remember Karen because she was very poised and very kind and very gracious to me. And I was just thinking about on the way over, I can't even remember the names of my court. I don't know who the first, second, or third runner-up was, but I remember Karen. Because I remember Karen. But anyway, Karen, I want to wish you a happy 60th birthday, and know that it's only a number. Because you are ageless, and I also looked up the year you were born and found out that it was the year of the dog, and I didn't really want to bring that up because I didn't think that was very nice, but then I looked up mine and it was the year of the rat, so I think you ended up better. So anyway, Karen, happy birthday, and wear your tiara well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yolanda was Mrs. Illinois in 1997. You can see why. Patty and Jean, I think, are my two wildest friends. And Patty lives in California, but she's now at the moment living in New York. So she flew in from California to New York to Chicago to be here tonight. So Patty.
Oh my God. Well, I think I'm one of Karen's newest friends. I've only known her for a few years, and one of her single friends. She likes to come, am I speaking loud enough?
Yeah, go ahead.
She likes to come to California and visit with her single friends. We're all blondes. I used to. And actually when we met is when she brought me to see Maria. Oh, my hair was red, wasn't it? Yeah, that's why you think that Deborah messing. So my hair is this wild red. And before I knew it, she whisked me off to Chicago, which I am originally from, actually, with my other friend to Maria's place. And before I knew it, we were doing a talk show on doing hair and makeup in Chicago. And then she came out to California, and I learned that when we're out together, if I just so happen to look and say, oh, that guy over there's got a nice tie on. Before I know it, she's gone. She's over the table. She says, I come over and be with these girls. They're all single. So we had to be very careful because we wouldn't know what she would do next. And then she came out to California again, and before we knew it, she'd arranged another talk show for us to all be on, and was back out here again, and she had us on another talk show. So it was a series of talk shows, but you know, it's always been entertaining and informative and an adventure, and always learning about life and relationships and health and beauty and healing of the body and soul. And she's been a great friend, and I guess since I'm the last one, her newest friend, we can all just raise our glasses now and toast to Karon. We're all so happy and proud and lucky to be your friends. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
With lots of luck and health and success. Continue. Now we're going to hear from Karon finally. Let's put, no, Ralph again? Oh, Ralph again, then Karon.
Excuse me. Hi.
Hi, Ralph.
I'm Ralph Gibson. I'm the guy that Karen Gibson ended up with.
Karen
Yeah.
White. Karen White.
Well, yeah, Karen White, but she's Karen Gibson. And I appreciated that very much. She's a very wonderful girl, a girl I've loved for years and years. She's done so much for me. It's incredible. I couldn't even say the amount of things that she's done and made my life happy and took care of me as a nurse. She's done everything. One of the things that in my mind, kind of signifies her attitude towards people and towards nursing and all of the things that she's done over the years, which most of you people know what she's done, what she's accomplished, which is a great, great many things. There was a little poem I'd like to talk about or say, if I can read this fine print. The Karen always liked it, thought it was something that kind of registered the emotions and the thoughts that she had about nursing. Let me try and read this to you. There is a rose that grows in no man's land, and she is beautiful to see. Though she is sprayed with tears, she will live for years in my garden of memories. She is the one red rose a sick man knows. She's the work of the Master's hand. Through my life's great curse stood a smiling nurse. She's the rose of no man's land. And that has always meant a lot to her, and I'm sure you can understand why. Now, I've heard a lot of praise and a lot of good happy birthdays, and I appreciate everybody that have come tonight and said hello and said happy birthday to Karon. Thank you very much.
Chris want to say something, Ralph? Chris is standing up, but Chris want to say something. Ask Chris.
Chris, were you wanting to say something? I saw you stand up. Is there something? Because I... No? Okay, because we want to get some dancing.
Okay,
don't we?
well, Gene, you just have to finish one thing and then we're done, right? You got that? This? Oh. This? Huh?
There's 10 more pages for you to read.
Okay, I'm gonna make this quick. I want to dance too. Okay, nursing is an art. And if it is to be made an art, it requires an exclusive devotion, as hard a preparation as any painter's or sculptor's work. For what is the having to do with dead canvas or dead marble compared with having to do with the living body? The temple of God's Spirit. It is one of the fine arts. I had almost said the finest of arts. That's okay. Hey, you guys want to party now? I think it's about time.
Drinks and some food and everything.
Let's party.
I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate every one of you who came here tonight and been part of my life. Gil's been our MC for our 20th anniversary, our 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
You can see why. Thank you, Gil.
Never let it be said Karen's a woman of few words. Let's party, you guys. Gonna have to earn your money with the band. We're ready.
Lights, camera, action.
If they know it, we'll sing it.
I'm trying to think of one. Yeah. Yeah.
much. Thank you.
Let's all sing happy birthday to Karon before we go to these. Happy birthday, Karon. again, if you get a chance, grab one of the CDs up here on the speakers. They're free. Something to listen to. Maybe not on the way home, but maybe you'll get to listen to it. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 25 years since they did their first dance, but let's see if they still know how to do it.
This is the moment. This is the day. This is the moment when I know I'm on my way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play. It's here and now, today. This is the moment. This is the time. The momentum and the moment are in line. Give me this momentous moment. I'll gather up my past, make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all of the dreaming, scheming and screaming becomes one. This is the day, just see it shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. This is the moment, this is the hour, when I can open up tomorrow like a flower, and put my hand to everything I plan to, fulfill my grand design, see all my stars align. This is the moment, my final test. This stunning record I never record second best. I won't look down, I must not fall. This is the moment, the sweetest moment of them all. This is the moment, damn all the odds. Mistake or never, I'll sit forever with the gold. When I look back, I recall, moment for moment, this was the moment, the greatest moment of them all.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for our anniversary couple.
On. Close, reverse. March. Guard, up. Post, colors. Color guard, pause.
shining. Arlene's bright and bright she'll always be. Put them on.
Please, my friends, be seated. The ancient scripture says that love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. We are gathered to celebrate together a love that has endured and a relationship that has fostered the belief of two people in each other and the hope of a couple for a lifetime of shared experiences. We are here to bear witness that indeed this marriage of Karon and Ralph has borne all things for better and for worse. And in this, their 25th year, we gather to hear them renew their vows and to send them forth together in all the loving years to come. I ask you now, Karon and Ralph, will you again accept one another and continue to live together in this marriage to which you committed yourselves so long ago? And if you will, please say together, we will.
We will.
And will you each, as you continue together as husband and wife, promise now to remain the love of each other's lives, to remain companions, sharing each other's lives, and holding together a store of goodness and love? And if you will so promise, please say together, we will.
We will.
May I have the rings? My friends, these rings represent not only your love, but also a continuation from generations past. The center stone in Karon's ring has been reset from the engagement ring of her grandmother, Clarice White. I would ask you now to join your hands together. Karon and Ralph, you are and have been each other's life and happiness. As your embraces give one another warmth and strength, and your sparkling eyes bless one another, so may you both know strength and warmth in the blessing of God upon these rings again. May they be unto you a continuing sign of his love and fidelity, and your love and fidelity to one another. Please renew your vows of love now by placing these rings once again on each other's fingers. You have been loving and living witnesses to these vows for the past 25 years. You have been friends and companions. You have laughed and cried together and shared loving memories. Look forward now together to the future that you will create. Now, a friend, Carol Russell, will share with us the lyrics of a song written by another friend, Amanda Oosterbaan, and dedicated to Karen. These words about divine love in human form.
Angel of my dreams, we didn't know our love would grow many years, long, long ago. We were young and couldn't see just why we were meant to be. Somehow we knew we'd marry soon. The magic filled every room. He said, I'm caring. He's calm and kind. Would this last till the end of time? You are the angel of my dreams, God's reflection in you and me. You held me close, then spread your wings. You reached the stars, angel of my dreams. As time passed, fear grew fast, that we might lose the spell that cast endless joy in a hopeful heart. Could love tear us both apart? His strength and love kept us safe, watching over the fears we faced. As wishes grew, our dreams came true. I believe in our love too. You are the angel of my dreams, God's reflection in you and me. I held you close, then spread my wings. I reached the stars, angel of my dreams. Anniversaries, they come and go, but what we have will always show. It's in our eyes we surely see just why we were meant to be. You are the angel of my dreams. God's reflection is in you and me. We held each other close, then spread our wings. We reached the stars, angel of my dreams.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Amanda.
Looking through the eyes of love.
Now a reading by Dr. Jerry Hiller, selection on the sharing of both sorrow and gladness, words by Charles Jeffers.
We have lived and loved together. We have lived and loved together through many changing years. We have shared each other's gladness and wept each other's tears. I have never known a sorrow that was long unsoothed by thee. For thy smiles can make a summer where darkness else would be. We have lived and loved together through many changing years. We have shared each other's gladness and wept each other's tears. And let us hope the future, as the past has been, will be. I will share with thee my sorrows, and thou thy joys with me.
Thank you, Drew.
For 25 years, two flames have been burning as one. On that day, a quarter century ago, they merged to form a newer, stronger source of light, yet each has continued to burn with its own special brilliance. Karon and Ralph will now relight the candle of their love, the unity candle.